And next we have a tweet from Malte, I think is how you say his name. He is the CTO of Vercel. And just a quick little tweet, but I found it interesting, where he's saying that software is free now with a footnote that free as in puppies. And essentially I had to look into this. You can kind of, I guess, intuitively figure out what it means, but there's different levels of freedom, right? And especially like in the open source community, they're very in tune with different understandings of what freedom means. So one of them is like free as in freedom, right? Like you're free to say or do whatever you feel. And then they have free as in beer, which is like, the cost is free, it doesn't cost any money. And then they have another one that's also free as in puppies, which is like it's free to obtain, but then there's a lot of cost involved in maintenance into owning that piece of software. Is it the example for open source software, but whatever it is that you're looking at, it takes maintenance and has costs associated with it being free and given to you. So they're saying that in the age of AI, and this is a clear principle that people are starting to understand, but it is very easy to like catch the hype and be like, oh, I can work on 50 projects now because of AI. And maybe there is a place where it's like you can do one-off projects that don't really require maintenance and just ship those out and try to get revenue from that, which I totally understand. And I have a very smart colleague who believes that methodology can work. But at least in terms of live services, right, and like SaaS services, you can't just have infinite projects. You need to have people on call. You need to have systems. There's companies to be built around it. There's funding and revenue, employees, all these different pieces that go into building software in 2026 essentially, and especially in the AI boom as well. And we have a reply here from Drew Bredvik, who is building GTM at Vercel. And there I saw a tweet kind of related to him, where apparently at Vercel they had like a sales team of 10 people that they reduced to one person just using like an agent that Drew built. So he's very much in the mode of building these agentic solutions and like adding new software, not just like working on brownfield or like older mature projects. And he's saying this too, even if software is free to write, it is not free to maintain. Who gets paid? So that is kind of the end of the day. First principles is like who is on call. And it's so fascinating because all these business stories and like startup stories, you never hear about people on call, like it's just kind of assumed that like the app works the way it works. There's outages, people get mad, and stuff like that. And I guess I don't know if outages used to happen more than they do now, but they do happen frequently, and we'll talk about that in another story as well. But there is like so much infrastructure and systems that have to go around delivering these live services, things that touch money, things that touch identity. So it's interesting. And it gets back to the idea of like AI, I really think counterintuitively is making it so we kind of like are really encouraged to follow the best practices and like focusing on a small number of projects, or even one project ideally, one startup ideally, I think really is going to pay a lot of dividends in the AI age versus working on 10, 15, 20 different projects at once. I really think is not going to work. And like, using Claude, like yes, you can run Claude while you're asleep and review PRs in the morning, but you can't do that across 20 projects. It's just not going to work.